Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up for the Shannons Club, Kenworth Trucks Australia, Pace Farm Eggs, and Holden Certified Service AC Delco Parts. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome to the show. Today it's about a remarkable individual. He's in the minority of people that you'll get to see interviewed on a show like this. It's time to meet a car guy, born in 1929. In this week's Classic Restos, On the Road. Meet Sydney Davenport. Have a go at this man. How remarkable is he? As mentioned, born 1929 in Greenacre, New South Wales. Sydney rode his horse to school, left school at age 14 and has worked ever since. At age 95, at time of filming, June 2024, Sydney is still working today, and that's what keeps him going. Sydney worked at Singer Sewing Machines, then self-taught motor mechanic. Sydney has repaired damaged vehicles, built his own engines, raced bikes and boats, and the list goes on. But primarily, Sydney owned a printing business, sold in 1990, but is still involved with Sri Lanka.
When I had the printing business before about 1988, I was dealing with Sri Lankan Dilmah Tea, and I met Merrill Fernando, and he used to come to Australia and we would do work for him and ship it over in containers for him. Dilmah Tea was a fantastic company and it's very large and successful today. So when I sold the business in 1990, I was contacted from Sri Lankan and they wanted to me to do some work from over there. So I went over and had a look at the job, what they needed, and they needed some more machinery. So I located a machine in New Zealand, which was a 6-colour machine, gravure. Went over there and we purchased this machine and then packed it in 2 20-foot containers and shipped it back to Colombo. We installed the machine there in a large galvanised factory, and anyway we commissioned the machine and converted it to do their particular tags for the Dilmah Tea. And then what happened then, the Bushells tea came into the market and they bought the same machines. They bought about 15 machines or something, and they needed somebody to do the tags. And the previous company, small company, the agent recommended us, and it was the job was much bigger than, of course, with 15 machines, it was a lot. And then we had to we were using about 3 machines to produce the same job. And eventually we changed it up and we actually built a machine to do the job in one go. And that went for many years with Bushells.
So one day I'm getting ready to go out and I'm looking for my hairdryer. Well, it was nowhere to be found. So I thought, I bet Dad's got it somewhere. So I go down to the garage and sure enough, there it is, perched on his latest project, making a machine to make tea bags, can you believe it? Making these.
Well, Sydney, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks, Fletch. Yeah, everything's going great. I'm having a great day. Everything's going nice, and anyway, we're in my workshop now, and I'll just tell you a bit about the workshop.
This is the therapy zone, isn't it?
Yeah, therapy zone. Look, yeah. I spend a lot of time down here. Look, I really enjoy working on the old cars. I've been doing it forever. And here we got a '68 model Maxi engine I'm rebuilding. I've had the car like 18 years and haven't done anything to it. I kept doing other jobs. Yeah. So now I'm settling down to, I'm going to finish that car off.
Okay, so you're 95 years of young, and you're starting to taper down just to do a few cars now and a couple of engines. Before we start talking about the engines, just run us through some of the equipment that you have here in the workshop.
Okay, I've got most equipment I need to do all the jobs. See, I've got TIG welding, oxy welding, and MIG welding. I've got a lathe over here, air compressor, so I can do painting or any lathe work and so on. So like drilling machines, so I've got everything here I really need to do any of the old cars. And the old cars are quite simple to do compared to the modern car. With no electronics, and it makes life a lot easier without the electronics.
Sydney, we have in front of us here a V8. Tell us what you're doing here. I'm blown away with, it's the first time I've seen the cylinders like this with the heads off these things. Yeah. The square section on top of the crown of the piston, obviously there for the compression. Also the valve angle here in the head. Anyway, give us a quick rundown on what you're doing here with this V8.
Well, this engine only a 4.2. It'll develop about 240 horsepower. It's look, the engine's been laying since it came in from Hong Kong in 1979. It was on the road for a very short period, and the guy that owned the car got injured and couldn't work on anymore. And the car laid till I purchased the car 18 years ago. And I've taken the heads off. I'm just doing the heads now, and the car's done about 64,000 Ks. The engine, I'm going to pull the engine, the base, the block down, just re-ring the motor and just freshen up the bearings and so on.
Explain to us about that crown of the piston, that square section.
Well, the square section on the piston, the basic Maserati engine normally run about 8.5 to 1. And this one here's got a bit of a crown, a square section, to raises the compression ratio. I think it's probably running about 9.5 or something.
Now, Sydney, although maybe not full hemispherical, would it be classed as more of a wedge design?
It probably would be. I'd say it probably would be more of a wedge design.
Now, stay in your favourite chair. We're going to take a short break and then we'll be back to speak with Sydney about one of his Maserati cars.
When I was a kid, I loved cars. Still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
When it comes to cars, there are some brands that will remain with us forever, no matter what. The Holden was always Australia's own car, held high in the hearts of many. Those lines, that chrome, the stories around them, and the people that owned them. From the classic through to the final, you can still trust in genuine Holden and AC Delco parts, available through the Holden Certified Service Network.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
We're at Sydney's place. Welcome back. How are you, Sydney?
Great, yeah.
Are you enjoying your day?
I'm having a fantastic day.
You're remarkable, you really are.
No, the day's been very enjoyable. So, I look here to come here and talk about the cars and, Here we have a 1968 Maserati Mexico.
Well, see, this is the thing. It's the diversity that Sydney's got here. Different vehicles as well. Now, this Mexico car, as you said, 1968.
Yes.
Pretty rare on the planet now, are they, Sydney?
Look, they only made about 240 cars in Australia, and they didn't make many right-hand drives. Right. This is a genuine right-hand drive car, and it's only done 64,000 Ks in all these years.
Tell us the story in terms of the history, how you found it, what was the life of the car before you got hold of it?
Well, a guy I know, he brought it into the country in 1979. He ran the car for a short time on the road, and he decided to pull the car down, repaint it, and do some reco work on it. And which he did. He had it painted, and then unfortunately he became ill. He had an accident, and he couldn't work anymore. The guy rang me up and said, "Look, could you work on the car for me?" And I said, "Look, I'm too busy. I've got too many projects on." I said, "But if you ever want to sell the car," he said, "give me a call." And like many years later, the guy rang me up and he said, "Look, I've got the Mexico. I'll never finish it. I'd like to sell it. If you want to buy it, come over and see me." So I went over there to see my car, and I bought the Mexico, and he also had another car there. I bought it as well.
Have you had to do much to it overall? Was it a basket case when you got it?
Look, well, the car was a bit of a basket case. The body's pretty good. I'll have it repainted the original colour. I'm in the process of restoring the engine now, rebuilding the engine.
So that's the V8 over on the bench.
That's the V8 on the bench. There's a 4.2 V8. Maserati in those years, the engines were they were ahead of their time. They were very well constructed. They've got an extremely good bottom end, and like the quad cam 4 carburetor engine, high performance. Look, you can't wish for a much better engine for the age of the car. Look, Maserati's always been very good with the mechanical side of the car. And they're usually well balanced, good brakes. Basically, the old Maseratis are a great car. The new cars are good as well, but I favour the old cars.
So they're not the type of car where you just go down to the local parts store and get bits and pieces. In terms of your knowledge, you must have the shop manuals. How do you know what you're doing with these cars?
Well, look, the workshop manual and the engineering details are available on the web.
A lot of the used parts still pretty well readily available from Europe?
Not really. They're pretty scared. They're pretty hard. You've got a lot of chasing up for old parts. So when you buy an old Maserati to restore, you really need to get them pretty well complete. Otherwise, the parts are difficult. Look, a lot of parts you can make, but the body parts are probably the hardest part.
And because of the way you're set up here with your lathe and your workshop, well, obviously you do make some parts.
Look, the mechanical stuff you can get by. You can modify, manufacture, and all those sorts of things. So it's not really hard to repair the car on the mechanical side. Especially the brake systems, you can always do modifications there and fix that up.
So obviously you know where you're up to. Have you got much more to do on this car now? We've got an engine over there. Obviously you've got to get that, drop that in the hole. Much past that, Sid, before it's on the road or running?
Look, there's a very small amount of rust in the car, and it's mainly labour work. The body's fairly well rust free. So I'll need window rubbers and maybe a few odd chrome strips. And the chrome strips and any of the chrome work's usually hard. You can buy new bumper bars that are made in the UK. You can buy stainless steel bars. So I will get a set of stainless steel bars from the UK. And any other minor things I may need, I'll have to chase them up through the USA.
Body of the car, Sid, what are we looking at? Are we looking at any alloys, fiberglass in terms of the body, what it's made of?
No, the body's fully steel. Look, the car will need some work on the upholstery's quite good. I'll need a new roof lining and a few things like that. And maybe a bit of wood, redo the woodwork.
What sort of transmission does it use?
It's got a ZF gearbox, 5-speed.
That's pretty cool. A quad cam V8 5-speed gearbox. That's going to be a heck of a toy.
Yeah, my daughter's put a name on it. She wants it.
Yeah, I don't blame her. That's amazing.
Yeah, anyway, so it's, look, I'm sure it'll turn out a nice car. Yeah. I'll have to send a lot of the parts out to be re-chromed, like the headlight rims and things like that.
You got to promise me you'll contact me when it's on the road, right?
I will, I promise you all that, and you can come out and have a ride on it. Yeah.
It's a nice looking
I'm sure
car.
it'll go pretty good.
I think it will.
Yeah.
With a few Sid modifications, hey?
Yeah.
Stick around, because after the break we're going to be back with Sid and another one of his wonderful cars.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
They may not be making the classic Holden anymore, but the legacy lives on. You can still have a Holden certified service using genuine Holden and AC Delco quality parts at over 180 centres across Australia. Go to holden.com.au to find your nearest centre. Book your Holden in, maintain the pride. Perhaps you're after some insurance for your tools and memorabilia, or some laid-up cover for your restoration. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And keep in mind too that the Shannons Club awaits you. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. Now, Sydney, when you were a young bloke, which wasn't that long ago, things in the automotive world didn't move that quick. Over all these decades, are you shocked at the performance, the way things evolved over, say, the last 50 years with performance and where we are today?
Well, look at the. I can remember going down with my father, and the big test was probably Bulli Pass, and some of the cars my dad had, they wouldn't make Bulli Pass. We had to go up Bald Hill. Today, the smallest car flies up Bulli Pass. The technology in engine performance today has been quite staggering. The like valve timing, compression ratios, and all the modern technology's gone into cars and the electronics and everything else. The performance is quite incredible. Well, this car here, it's a Maserati Shamal. It came into Australia in 1993. I bought the car in 1994 while I was in hospital. I bought it over the phone. And when I came out of hospital, this car arrived home and my wife said, "What the hell is this?" And anyway, look, I've had the car like 30 years now. We've used it a lot. It's pretty high performance. It's 3.2 litre. It's got 6-speed go-drag gearbox. It's got a big set of AP brakes on it. And this car was actually the backup car at the Bathurst races. Shamal's a great car. They're just a great, exciting car to drive. And I haven't used it much in the later years. In the early years, I used it a fair bit. But in the last few years, it's mainly sat in the garage. But I'm just going to keep the car, and maybe one of my grandsons might have it. They're both in the US at the moment, but whether they come back or not, it's another story. We'll wait and see. Yeah, we're having a pretty good time. Yeah,
good on you. Good on you, Sid. I'm having a ball with you today.
Yeah, we're having a ball. We're having a great time.
Yeah, it's history lessons, it's cars, it's everything with you.
Well, it's good to get together and go over old times and talk about what's happening and how good the world isn't today or how good it was in the past.
Well, Sid, respectfully, from the people here, everybody watching the show, you would have seen more than most at this point.
I've seen a lot in my day. So, like being born in 1929 and you grow up, and by the time the war started, I was 10 years old, and you go through all those things, and I can still remember the shelling in Sydney Harbour and all those things, and all the searchlights, and and you had like special lights on your car to drive overnight, and but still we had when being young, we still enjoyed life, and I'm still here today and still enjoying life, so it's great. So if you're healthy and happy, you've got it made. So there we go, and I enjoy working on the cars, and every day I spend a lot of time in the garage, and I still do it, and I hope to do it for a long time to come. Anyway, look, we got here with our Volvo 1970 Mark 7, and it's these cars came as a kit car, and the quality depended on the person who builds the car. I bought the car out of Brisbane, out of Queensland.
It's a great looking car, Sid.
Yeah, look, it's a great car. It's been a pleasure doing the car. Like, you got the fiberglass work, mechanical work, and trim and all those sorts of things, and it's been a great project, and I really enjoy driving. It's a fun car.
Yeah, tell us about engine and driveline.
Now, the engine and driveline, it's got a Toyota Supra, 5-speed. It's got a 186 Holden in it. It's got 3 Delautos, and it's got the head from the XU1, the cylinder head. Look at it's got a cam in it.
What a driveline! That's wonderful.
Look, you can drive down the highway at 110 speed limit, and it cruises beautifully. The gearing's good on it.
Yeah. Plus, it's light. It's lightweight up front too, isn't it? With the 6.
Look at they only weigh about 800 kilos, and so they're a pretty light car. They're quick. It stops well. I did the brakes on it and the steering geometry. The steering was a bit of a basket case when I got it, so that's good now. And to run the booster, I run a electric vacuum pump on it. That gives us plenty of boost for the brakes, so the brakes are good. You can actually lock the fronts up quite easy. The seats are the original seats that came with the car back in 1970. The dash, I made a new dash for it, and lots of other bits and pieces, like aluminium fuel tank, and I went through the whole car.
I tell you what, Sid, when you sit in it, your bum's close to the ground.
And mate, when you're driving past a truck, you look at the wheel. When you first drive a car along the road and a big truck goes past you, you say, hell, what's that? And it's a bit scary, but look.
I also like the brushed aluminium dash fascia as well.
Yeah,
That's sporty for the car too.
Yeah, well, I made that on the dual press here. So you can't buy it here. You can buy it in the States, but anyway, I looked on YouTube how to make it, and I did it here in the garage here, and it turned out pretty well. The dash looks good. The speedo is electronic speedo in it, and I replaced all the instruments are new. Some came from India and some came from China. So the GPS speedo works well.
Sid, the thing is, you've got no time to get old because you've got all this stuff around you that's keeping you young.
Well, look, I love getting in the bowl and going for a drive. Some days I get a bit bored, I jump in the bowl. Yeah. And you can take it along nice and easy, or you can liven it up. Yeah. So it's.
But you've got best of both worlds. You can but you can clean your cars, drive your cars, work on your cars. You've got your workshop over there to do any projects you want to do. Yeah. You've got everything here, haven't you?
Look, I'm happy. I'm happy with life. So I'm not. I've got no grumbles about life. So it's pretty good. So. Yeah.
All right, well, look, on that note, I want to thank you so much for today, for a little bit of a tour around your cars. There's one over the other side as well. Maybe we'll get that another day. Yeah. But just quickly, year model of the Maserati next door.
1974, Maserati Kempson.
Well, there you go. There's another one hiding on the other side of the wall, maybe next time. But again, Sid, it's been wonderful catching up with you. I've got a tremendous...
Fetch, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Fetch.
Thank you. And, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for... how far you've come and your history and the runs you have on the board. What do we say?
Well, when I finish the next project, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks very much for
Good on you, mate.
being here today. I've enjoyed your company.
Oh, I've enjoyed yours as well.
Okay.
Now listen, you've got to take care of yourself, right?
Okay. No problem.
Okay. And keep on surrounding yourself with all this magnificent machinery, all right?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sid.
Thanks for being here.
I'm sure you'll agree that Mr. Sydney Davenport is truly a remarkable man, a walking time capsule, and proof that our classic vehicle hobby can help to add some longevity along the way. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up for the Shannons Club, Kenworth Trucks Australia, Pace Farm Eggs, and Holden Certified Service AC Delco Parts.